February 20th, 2024, what happened today in financial history? I'm going to try to do these before each of my lives as a little extra whatever, okay? So February 20th, 1795, the first REIT was created. So they don't really call it a REIT. They didn't have that word back then. But it was a company. So the North American Land Company was founded on February 20th. They issued shares of it a month later, but they were guaranteeing a 6% return off of the real estate. Now, they were going to speculate on real estate, buy a lot of stuff. They ended up being the largest landowner. I think they owned over 3 million acres of land in the U.S., which was a lot of land back then. But part of the problem is that they couldn't do MLS searches and stuff like that. The internet was just in its infancy, so they really couldn't do searches. And a lot of the stuff was like crap land, kind of like Florida swampland, but it was actually Georgia pine barren land. So they were losing money. But you need to understand who this guy was. In 1775, 20 years before this, before the Revolution, he was considered the richest man in the colonies, the New World, right? And even prior to that, he was against what the UK was doing, but he was not for splitting off and just independence. So he was against that. And when they went to vote in the Continental Congress, I don't know if it's first or second, he goes, you know what, I'm going to recuse myself. I'm going to step out because I'm against it, and I don't want to go against what the delegation of Pennsylvania wants to. I don't want to be the thorn in their shoe kind of thing. So he backed off and did it. And they voted, they approved, we're going to leave, blah, blah, blah. He ended up being a signer of the Declaration of Independence. And basically, thank God for this, paid most of the soldiers, which what they call Morris notes. So again, this guy was called the financier of the revolution. He was the shit, okay? Among all the founders, he was definitely one of them, and he was big time, okay? Paying for everything, okay? So then he's making money, lots of money, and he decided to start this company, this REIT, not that it's called that, but it's a REIT. And they started speculating, like I said, in crappy land, and they were losing money, and they ended up losing. They owed over $3 million, which I don't know if I mentioned already. $3 million, which is about $70 million in today's money to investors, $75 million. And back then, they had a thing called debtor's prison. So this guy goes from, in 1775, paying for the revolution and being the richest man in the New World to being in debtor's prison with his two partners. They didn't do anything wrong. They owed the money. Well, they made mistakes. Nothing criminal. So they actually created a federal law to get rid of the debtor's prisons, or at least they got rid of some of them, specifically to get him out. So after that, he didn't do a whole lot. But that's quite a story that you go from the top to being in prison for owing too much money. So that's February 20th, this day in history in 1795.